Know this. Introducing the original blood clot podcast, not players. Soothing Semantics. Special dedication all the way from New York. Boom. Yeah, man. SWOT Semantics. Yeah, me know. Boom. Soothing Semantics. Yeah, me know. Big ups to the man now. Soothing Semantics.
On another episode of Soothing Semantics, I am your host, Rafi Pinsky, and today we have a special guest. Every guest is special.
I'm the most
you know, obviously. But a specialer guest, Ashley Berardi. What's going on? How you doing?
Oh my god.
Yo, I'm right here from Brooklyn. I'm just checking in with you.
Oh my god. Everybody always has something to say about my accent, and I'm like, and it's so funny because if you heard my parents speak, you would be like, wow, like, because to me they're like, you don't have an accent, you know, but so you could only imagine my parents, like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, honestly, if you don't have an accent, then I don't know who does.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear a Brooklyn accent from being in Miami. You don't hear them enough.
Yeah.
You know,
they say
luckily,
water.
What'd you say?
They say water.
Yeah, water, talk.
Talk.
Well, did you want to by any chance talk about it? No, I want to fucking talk about it.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to talk about it.
They wish they had that accent, though. I'll tell you, like, I've even dated people from Florida, and they're like, yo, you know what attracted me? And I'm like, you're so weird. They're like, your voice, just the feistiness. I'm like, okay. But people have told me that before.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brooklyn accent's definitely a plus for out of New Yorkers, out of staters.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we discussed off of the episode, you had this journey over the past several years from growing up without any religious knowledge of Judaism to a knowledge, definitely quite a vast knowledge at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So go into that for us.
So when I was younger, basically, like, my mom did what she could, you know, like, she did put us in Hebrew school. We did go to a secular school, though. We never went to yeshiva or anything. Like, a lot of my friends, they all went to yeshiva. I never did. And we would go to, like, Hebrew school, like, in a reformed place, like, every Sunday or whatever, until I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just, like, stopped doing that. And then, there on out, like, in school and stuff, I was, like, the only Jewish person. Like, it was, like, the United Nations. But, like, to find a Jew there, it was, like, not a thing, you know? So I kind of, like, didn't know my place or, like, where I fit in because, like, I'm Jewish, but I'm, like, Jewish, you know? Like, I don't, like, it's like I know I'm Jewish, but I feel like there's so much more that I don't know and I want to know so I could be confident in who I am, because the more you know about your heritage, the more confident you are in believing in Judaism or whatever it is, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I always had, like, a spiritual, like, spark within me. That's just who I am. Like, even when I was younger, like, I was always just, like, a spiritual person. I thought deep into things. I always said, like, well, where do we come from? And, like, why are we here? And there has to be a purpose. And, you know, I always had that desire to want to know more about, okay, we're not just put here. Like, you know, like, there's a mission. We're here. And so then a lot of things happened to me, my family. Like, we went through Hurricane Sandy. Our house got, like, ruined. And we were in Mill Basin. So, like, that was, like, we were, like, it was a rarity. Like, yeah, like, some houses got hit a little bit, but ours got hit bad. And it was, like...
Well, you also didn't think that a hurricane would hit Tel Aviv number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like,
yeah.
And
Tel Aviv doesn't get hit by hurricanes.
Yeah,
for anyone that doesn't know, Mill Basin is an area in Brooklyn that's, like, largely Israeli.
Mm-hmm.
So
Israeli and Italian and Russian.
Right. Mm-hmm.
A lot of Russians too. But so we got hit, and like, just a lot of things happened to me and my family. Like, my dad lost his business, and, like, like Hurricane Sandy, and like when I was younger I was even hospitalized, like I was homeschooled for a little bit. No one really knows that about me, but I went through that for a little bit of time because I was like sick and stuff like that. And like I even made friends with like cancer patients. I was in a children's hospital because I had like a blood disorder when I was younger, and I remember being friends with someone, and like we would do lanyard, like, you know, I don't know if you know about lanyard and stuff, but it was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I just
so
never really got into it, but I definitely remember.
yeah,
that.
oh my god, I was obsessed with it. So, you know, I would always meet with my friend, and like one day she wasn't there, and I was 8 at the time, and I'm kind of like jumping around because whatever, but yeah,
Well, good, go on.
I was 8 at the time, and so I came back, and they're like, oh, she's not here, and I was like, what do you mean she's not here? And like that's when I understood, like, okay, she died like from cancer. So like at a young age I was exposed to like a lot, like death and like sickness, and like I don't want to like, but I'm a positive person, like I'm not like, you know, everything that I've been through like made me who I am. So I appreciate everything that happened, like I see the good in everything. But so that happened, and like just I feel like as a kid, like it's kind of scary because like when you're a kid everything should be like just good and butterflies and everything's great, but it's like I understood the concept of like one day you're here and one day you're not, and how precious like time really is, because like anything could happen day to day, you never know, like that's why you have to live your day, like live your life just the happiest you can be, you know, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And then I lost like both of my grandmas and stuff like that, and like I remember seeing them, and it was just like, you know, like I know my friends, they still have their grandmas and they're like, you know, living well, and it was like I lost them very young, you know. And then later on, whatever, my sister, she was like, she was the most talented person in the world. She drew, she wrote, like she was literally beautiful inside and out, and she struggled with like depression and struggled with like fitting in, and you know, a lot of her situations, and she was on Xanax. And like a lot of people think Xanax is great, and a lot of people think like, oh, it's prescribed by a doctor, you know, like take it can't harm you. No, that shit is deadly. Like that shit fucks with you hard. And you know, so she was on that, like kind of like numbing herself out, whatever, until one day she was like, I don't want to be on this, like I don't, what did I do to myself, like I just want to get clean. She literally like signed herself to rehab and everything, like on her own. She went, and so when she went there, basically she came out of detox, and when she came out of detox, when she came home, like she didn't look like herself, like she looked like sick and skinny, and she just didn't look like herself. And like we all like just looked at her, and we felt so like what happened, you know, like it was really hard. And then she went back, like, because they send you, I don't know, and when she came back they gave her like 10 different like a bag of pills, like to like even more than what she went in with. And we were just like, what the hell is this, like trazodone, thisadone, this, that, to stabilize this and that.
So
and
they gave her medication after she got off medication.
Yeah, that's what they do to stabilize you. That's why fuck Big Pharma. I'm sorry, but fuck Big Pharma. Like I really, it's all money to them. They don't care. Like they will get you hooked, because guess what? At the end of the day, they're profiting off of you being addicted. You know? And people think, oh, a doctor is saying it, it's fine. No, it's not, because if you understand the world, money is at the root of everything, you know?
Yeah, so, what's really funny is all these extra medications. If you have bad migraines, I get that. Yeah. But people are just hooked on Advil as soon as they get the tiniest little headache. Yeah. Oh, it's my Advil. I need my Advil. Just let it roll. Like, you know what, okay, like fight through the pain a little bit.
It's a quick fix. I feel like we live in a generation where everything, it has to be a quick fix. And it's like, we don't know patience, or like, you know, think about thousands of years ago, you used Mother Nature, like you used herbs, you used your resources that you had. Now everything is like so quick, take a pill, take this, take that, and you're walking around like zombies. And like, that's really like what is going on. And like, you know, big pharma and all these, they profit off of it. So, you know, that like that got us like, what the fuck? Like, she went in for this and she's on all of these different medications, like to level this out and level this thing out and that, and then you're looking back and you're like, was this even a good idea? Like, you know, it's so scary. But yeah, so then she came back, she was good, and I think my brother picked her up, and so she came back for like a week or something, and then she went back in. And when they released her or something, she came back. My brother picked her up. And that's when, like, we found her the next day. Like, I heard my mom screaming, like, okay. And I know that scream was like, all right, like, she's not here anymore. So I don't think I just want to, like, she didn't kill herself. Like, it was like an accident. Or I don't know, like, maybe the medication that they gave her didn't, you know, work or something. But she came back and, like, she choked on her throat. She was laying down, and when the Hatzalah came, they said that it was, like, too late or whatever. But, yeah. Oh, my God, I'm getting emotional. It's OD. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I usually don't talk about it. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm crying right now.
I mean, this is pretty, if you want to keep this in, you know,
Oh
like, it's
my
pretty real stuff.
Yeah, so.
If you don't mind me asking, and I don't want to stop it if you still have more to say, I just
Yeah.
kind of wanted to know
Yeah.
how all of this tied into
Yeah.
to your spiritual journey, because obviously this is something that really made you think.
Yeah,
It gave you a lot of life perspective.
So I think I would have gone crazy, like, if, listen, like, losing, like, I was 18, she was 22, like, or something like that. Yeah, she was 22, turning 23. But, like, so when she passed away, I found one of her writings, and one of her writings was, like, she was saying how, you know, exactly what I'm saying, like, I know there's more to life, and, like, I feel like I would have I wish I would have practiced Judaism more, and knowing, you know, and she basically was writing something about Judaism, and that she wishes, and the real purpose is to, like, know more about it, and all of these things, and, like, I was already thinking this, and then I picked up that paper, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a confirmation, like, what are the odds of me saying this? And I pick up this paper, and it's exactly what I've been feeling. And so from that moment on, I think a rabbi gave me the book, The Garden of Emunah, and that book literally, like, saved me so much, because it was, you know, it really talked about how everybody has a tikkun and everybody has their purpose, and when they finish their purpose, you know, they move on and they go into Shemaim, or they go into heaven. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's when I started, like, really, like, understanding how, like, anything in this world is temporary. At any moment a hurricane could come, fuck up your house. At any moment a loved one could be taken away. At any moment something could happen that you're not in control of, you know? And
I just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
Just hold your thought. That's precisely why I don't get how people aren't insanely motivated to go after the things that they want.
Yeah.
Because you could just die tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to at least try your best? And I guess you can argue, well, if I die tomorrow, then what's the point of all of it?
No,
But-
because you leave a legacy. You want something to last.
I agree with you that I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It's just, how could you not want to just become the most incredible person you can? You know, and you can
Yeah.
always say there's more and more and more, and, you know,
Yeah.
there is moderation, of course, but to a large degree, to just, you know, I like the word ferociously go after what you want.
I agree.
And especially after all you've told me, it just really solidifies that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like...
You have your thought, though? I don't want you to lose I don't
No,
want you to lose your point.
it's fine. I definitely agree with that. Like, I feel like that's one of my fears. One of my fears is, like, not living to my utmost potential. You know what I mean? Like, not doing what I set out to do. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be the best person that I can be. I want to be, you know, like, I have that desire in me because I very much well know how temporary this world is. So, yeah, it should be a push to everyone to be a better individual, to be better at their job or their passion, or like, I totally agree with that for sure. Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of like, and then that's my journey and how I kind of became more spiritual. I started keeping Shabbat. I showed my parents, like, we got mezuzahs for everywhere. Like, we started doing kiddush. We do kiddush every Friday. I mean, they use their phones and stuff, but we still have kiddush and everything. Mm-hmm. So, and we have all kosher food. Like, before that, we weren't
Does your father have gabagool on the table?
No. He's only kosher.
Hey,
like,
Ashley, I don't mind eating the fucking challah, but we gotta have some gabagool on the table too, huh?
He's like, nah, my stomach will get messed up. Nah, they know. They're like, they can't even believe that they used to eat non-kosher. Like, they can't even believe it, you know?
What do you mean they can't believe it?
Like, they can't believe it. They're like,
so used to it already?
Yeah. It's been
everything
years.
in your house is kosher?
Yeah. It's been like,
wow.
It's been like 5 or 6 years. Or no, it's been like, 6 years. 5-6 years.
Wow. But what, like... Oh,
I'm 24. Wild. It was 18 when I was 18.
So interesting. I've never had that at home. I grew up eating kosher my whole life.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of, if anything, like
I know.
In the house I have it, and meat, I eat kosher meat.
Yeah.
But with like dairy, I'm not as strict with. But in the house,
I'm not like, in the house everything's kosher. But like when I go out, I'll have like pizza that's not kosher and stuff like that. I'm not like so strict, but I won't have what? I won't have like pizza. I won't have like it mixed together, but like I'm
gonna add one of those like brain things, you know, like those.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's just like coming to like a happy medium and like, you know, just trying to better yourself. Like I feel like I wouldn't say that I jumped into it too quick. Like yeah, I did start keeping Shabbat and kosher, but it's not like I was wearing skirts and like, you know, like I was still me, you know, but I did kind of fall out of it. Like I kept it for like a good, I would say 2 or 3 years. But then none of my friends were keeping. I know everybody probably uses this excuse, but like it was hard. It was hard because nobody kept around me. And then it's like, all right, you know, like I could go to, you know, someone's house for Shabbat, which I was doing, and people always wanted me there, and like I was always invited places. But like it's hard, you know, like, and one day, Bezrat Hashem, I'll get there. But
yeah, you have to really want it. And for me, it's like,
you don't really want it.
Yeah, you know, it's a funny thing because I love being at a Shabbat dinner. I love being around a Jewish environment and all that. But once it starts to get very, very religious, don't get me wrong, I respect it. I see beauty in it. But it's just not me at the current moment. I don't know if it'll ever be me. So, I don't know. For me, I don't know if I'll ever be there. There might be some things I take on.
Yeah.
I'm open to keeping Shabbat. But, you know, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's crazy because what I would have thought that I would have wanted to keep Shabbat years ago, no. Like, I wouldn't have thought that. But the thing is about life, you never know, like, where life will take you. You could be like, oh, I'm never going to do this or I'm never going to do that. And that's when Hashem or God's like, all right, I'm going to test you right now. Or, like, we'll throw something in your lap. And it's like, you really never know. Like,
you think God might be from Brooklyn, though? Can you imagine if he's like, yo, Shabbat, bro, it's in an hour. Come on.
I'll be like, you're definitely my God, that's for sure.
Right? It would make sense.
It would.
He can't be from Florida because he'd be too relaxed.
Yeah, no. You gotta get
he's right above the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
He's like, come on already, guys. What are you doing? There's an hour. Shower, make your food. Let's go. Sit down, go to shul, shower.
Exactly.
Okay, I know I don't know if I should make these jokes, but all right.
No,
whatever,
it's good. Short. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah, so how did you get into this? How did you get into, like, doing podcasts? Like, what made you...
Oh, that took a turn. I like that question.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing something like this, I would probably say for the last year or so. And my roommate at the time, the Yoni, the first episode I did, we were talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I really want to do this podcast. It's just something really very much up my alley. I can just see myself being good at it. I love to communicate. And I just naturally have, I can say I have the gift of gab because I do. I'm articulate and I know how to express myself and get my words across.
Right.
So I said, what better way to do that is if I have this ability, why not? And especially because there's so much learning there's so much potential learning from
other people.
So I said, yeah, I mean, you learn, the guest learns, other people are learning. Every new guest I have on is teaching me something.
Right.
And I love it. I enjoy it. So I was talking to him about it, and he was like, yo, why don't you just get the equipment? Like, why don't you just start? You keep talking about doing it and this and that. Bro, why don't you just get the stuff? I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. So I went online. I ended up going to New York to visit my grandmother. And while I was there, I went to B&H. You ever heard of B&H?
Of course, that's where I got my camera.
Yeah. So B&H, it's owned by Hasidic Jews.
Is it? It's in Manhattan.
Yeah. It's owned by the Hasidim.
I didn't know.
Hello, welcome to B&H. Hello.
Oh my God.
Ashley, it's a pleasure to see you.
Listen, nice.
Hello, throw me down the stairs, the key. Throw me off the bridge, the baby.
I can't.
And no, but I love them. It's all jokes.
Yeah,
anyway,
no, they're good people.
So B&H is one of the most well-known electronic stores, if I'm not mistaken, probably in the world.
Yeah.
Definitely in America. I mean, it's very famous.
Yeah.
There are celebrities that go there.
Wow.
I mean, they have the people who work there are not just random employees. They're experts in what they're responsible for in the store.
Right.
You know, depends on what they do, but the people who are designated to work with certain equipment, they know what they're talking
doing.
about. And it's very impressive. So I went in there and I walked around and I spoke to a bunch of people and I literally sat down and had a meeting with one of these guys. And he told me what I should get. He asked me what my price range is, and I got all the equipment. I had it shipped to Florida. And here I am. And I got the equipment, and then I said to myself, and then I started making episodes, but I was half-assing it. I was making the episodes, I was editing them. It was honestly, it's funny. Looking back at it, it's a whole blur, but it was a lot of work. A lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's not easy.
A lot of work. Now I'm already more at a stage where a lot of the difficult stuff is subconscious because I already know what I'm doing. I set up my podcast. It takes me 2 seconds. Right. I remember when I was first setting it up, I was like, how the fuck do I do this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not good with electronics or tech or anything. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what the hell do I do? Now I have an SD card and I have an SD thing and I have my cameras and I I have like a bunch of wires and plugging all the wires in. Before, a couple of months ago, you would have asked me like, what do you do? I would have had no idea.
Yeah.
You know? And it's all about just giving enough of a shit to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. And now that it's done, I have a lot of other things to focus on, but it's a pleasure because I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing with real estate now because I'm new at that too. I love it. So I'm doing two things that are difficult, but in the grand scheme of things, I think they're going to get a lot easier. And when they do, there's no limit to where it can go. And that's what I love. There's no ceiling to either of these things.
I agree.
So with the podcast, I mean, I really see it, you know, I believe in myself and I see it doing very well. I'm already getting, God willing, I'm having some pretty big guests on in the near future, hopefully.
That's amazing.
And it's just, I really believe, I'm a strong believer in manifestation.
Me too.
Willing things into existence.
Me too.
Being persistent. I can go all day about this, but
me too, yeah.
This is just something I feel.
Abraham Hicks. You ever listen to Abraham Hicks?
No. Who's that?
She's all about manifestation and the power of the mind and like how basically like manifesting your dream life and just believing that you already have it. Like not saying, oh, I will get or I want. No, I have it now. And then believing like you actually have it right now. And it's a pretty powerful technique, and I feel like that's exactly what prayer is too. It's like praying like, this is what I want, this is, that's
To a large degree.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah, that's what it is, really.
I'm looking at something.
What are you looking at?
Because we're talking about manifestation.
I'm looking at my
Okay, here we
wine.
go. So I was actually, every morning at 8 o'clock, from 8 to 8:30, I sit in, there's a Zoom meeting with a guy that's in the company. He's a team leader for a different office for the same company. And he gives phenomenal half-hour meetings in the morning to get you psyched, and he reads from different books and motivates you and
That's
teaches.
amazing.
All these different things. But he's such a well-spoken guy. He's so smart, and he just. My mornings, my mornings start with the gym, and they always, I have my gym breakfast, take like a quick shower, and I listen to his 8 to 8:30 meeting, and it just is a complete. It's unreal.
And this is someone that you work, like someone for your company?
Yeah.
That's
I've never met him. I've never met him, but he's in a different. Like I can go meet him. I just haven't done it. But he was talking today about the two parts of the brain that are responsible for fight or flight. And he didn't say fight or flight specifically, but this is the implication. He mentioned the amygdala, which is a part of the brain that tries to keep you safe. So this is where the comfort zone comes in. The brain's like, oh no, that's dangerous. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then the prefrontal cortex is like, hold on a second. There might be something over the horizon.
Yeah.
Beyond the fear, you might want to do that. And then they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
And whichever part you feed more is the part that gets stronger.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow,
and it's just, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is... to say it's so much more powerful is just it's a stupid way to say it. It is exponentially more powerful. It's just so much more powerful than anything else that lives in you.
Yeah.
Your physical body is completely connected to the brain, and what you tell your brain and what your brain tells you is what will happen.
Yeah.
And like I saw that, nothing proved that more to me than when I was in the army and I saw this tiny little sticks. I'm talking about guys, like skinny guys, that would just go. They would just carry and go, and they didn't quit. And sometimes you would see these big guys who were literally bitching the whole way through. And I'm telling you, and that's where you really understand the power of the mind.
Yeah. The power of the mind is everything.
It's everything.
It's crazy. It's like you strengthen the mind, and what you have, no one can take what you have in your mind away from you. So unless you let them, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, and the whole fear thing, it's like I say, like everything you want is on the other side of fear, literally. It's crazy. Power of the mind is insane.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then that you can tie this into the conversation we're going to have anyway, the COVID conversation.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because this is literally a prime example of people letting fear take over.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. And that's kind of what they want, because the people, they know what they're doing. These people, it's like, think about like Egyptian times, right? They, like, when we were enslaved in Egypt, we were enslaved. Why? We were enslaved in the mind, just like how you're talking about the mind. When we were in Mitzrayim, we were literally enslaved in our minds. And that's the worst type of enslavement. And right now, in the phones, in the media, in the news, and this, we're enslaved. There's like, people don't even realize how we're just so in the matrix with the phones and the media and the propaganda, and the manipulation is like at an all-time high. And like back in the day, like, you didn't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have, you had one station on the TV, if that, and you didn't have a phone, and you weren't, it wasn't like this excessive, And I feel like if we didn't have the media, like, there would be no one would even know about this pandemic. They would just think
Actually, I just thought of something.
What?
It's time for your own show called the Berardi Bulletin.
Yeah, I want. And what's that? Is it my finger? Is it because I talk with my hands?
No, the Berardi Bulletin will be your version of the current events.
Yeah.
Tell them like it is.
I want to
Literally
so bad.
having your weekly show. What up? I'm not. This isn't Shark Tank. I'm not gonna ask for a percentage. But.
So I just got so freaking pissed because it's like I would get at least on my story like 700 views. I get like 80 views at that. They like shadow banned my account. And it's like fun. Like I'm laughing about it because like whatever. But like it's not even funny. Like that's like you don't know how many people I know. Like I was like, all right, you know, like I knew it happened. But when it happens to you, you're like, wow, like I can't have the freedom to say what I want. Like this isn't China. Like I'm supposed to, like I can't have, and that's a scary thing. Like the fact that you can't speak differently than what the media is saying is kind of scary. Like that's how, that's tyranny. Like I'm not about that. And like yeah, it's so annoying. It's like they could say whatever they want, but the moment you want to say something, you're shut down, you're flagged, your account is taken down. Like I know so many people whose accounts literally got shut down. Like they nuked their accounts because they were saying the truth. Like they're so scared of the truth getting out that they're willing to take down your account. And
I wonder if that'll happen to me on my YouTube channel.
No, because you don't go into like you're not political, or you're not talking about COVID really. Like it's very like.
Yeah, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna. I mean, yeah,
like this is fun.
I will say very, very transparent things.
Yeah, exactly.
I just did an episode, number 14. We talked about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah.
And that's something very controversial. I didn't say anything that I would get banned for.
Yeah, but I didn't say anything to get banned for either, though. Like, I really didn't. I wasn't spreading hate. I wasn't spreading anything, like, bad. I was just, like, let's say if I post something about the governor, like, I don't even know. Like, it's like, look, I can even go on my Instagram, like, just, I don't know. Just, like, regular things. They just banned my account. Like, it's crazy. Like this, right? If I post something like this about Belgian police will knock on doors at Christmas to enforce coronavirus rules, they don't want that being spread or something like that. But that's what's going on, you know? Like, why, you know? I don't know. It gets me so annoyed. Like, it really does. It's like, why is it okay that on Netflix you have 11-year-old girls twerking for old men and that's not banned? That's okay. But when I want to speak about the root of the people who are condoning pedophilia, banned, shut down. It's like, it's sick. It's so sick.
It's crazy. I remember you told me about this. It's absolutely insane.
It's nuts.
The problem is I want to see this because I want to see that it's real.
But it's disgusting.
But at the same time, I don't want to see it because for obvious fucking reasons.
They're normalizing.
So I just decided I'm not going to see it. There's absolutely no need.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick and twisted.
I cannot believe that's actually on Netflix. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Governor Cuomo, like, honestly, if I could just, like, say a big fuck you to him, I really would. Like,
yeah, you and everybody else.
I really hate him. Like, he enforced 10 o'clock curfew now, and they're talking about
it's still in effect?
Yeah.
So we don't have curfews anymore here.
We do.
Yeah, no, you guys forget it.
We're in, like, communist town over here.
Yeah. I wonder how many people, I wonder what the stat is of how many people are leaving every day.
A lot.
I can Google it. Let's just Google it.
A lot. Google, like...
Do the googs.
Who owns Google?
How many peoples are... Where's my phone? Let's see. Why are these are such old... There's nothing recent. Where's the recent... January 2020. What's the deal here? New Jersey, New York, this is from September 2020. I have another one. How many people have left the tri-state?
A lot. Even in Manhattan, so many people left. And now if they're going to put us in another lockdown, like, I can't. Like, that is just... If people really believe that the government is, like, cares about the general public, with this whole COVID shit, they're really like, they really need
Oh,
to...
it's the dumbest thing to
They
think that
really need to check themselves because it's like, they're like, oh, you know, to stop the spread. Okay, so then you're going to be broke, you're going to be dependent on the government, and when socialism kicks in and you're forced to have socialism or be in a communist country, you're not going to be so happy about it. And that's literally what's going on. They want you to be dependent on the government.
Yeah, that seems like that's where we're headed, and I'm definitely not allowing that to. I mean, I'm not a government official, but unless they take my Second
Guns,
Amendment
but that's
rights,
what they
I mean,
want. That's what the
I have
left wants.
I know they're trying to do that.
They're trying to.
It shows 246,000. I don't know if those numbers are accurate. They're probably much higher by now. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
several 100,000. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's probably a couple of thousand leaving every day.
Yes.
At least a couple of hundred.
So many,
leaving
you
every
don't
day.
understand. Even in Mill Basin, like, so many homes are for sale. So many people are moving out.
Really?
Yeah, so many houses for sale. Everybody's moving. Like, a lot of people in the beginning of COVID, they fled to Israel. Like, a lot of Israeli people, they fled to Israel. They went to Miami. Now a lot of people are
Really,
in
they
Miami.
went back to Israel. Interesting. How come?
And now Israel's bad too. Like, it's like, where do you even go? Like, I mean, I guess Florida is better right now, but it's just...
You know what? It's not about jumping from place to place. People panic and they're like, we have to just go there. We have to go there. It's like, no, just New York. I understand if you want to leave, or if you don't. If you don't leave New York, at least go to the suburbs, Long Island, Staten Island. Further out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But just to like run to different countries and things like that.
Well,
COVID's going to be over eventually. The economies are going to eventually. Things are going to go back. Not normal. It's gonna change. Things are never going to go back to the way they were. They're going to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
But you either adapt or you bitch and moan and you screw yourself. So I mean, we're on this planet. We're living here. I mean, Elon Musk hasn't provided an opportunity to go to Mars, and quite frankly, I don't want to go to Mars anyway.
Yeah.
So you deal with the hands you're dealt. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, I feel like you also, like, any person that brought about change is like, they had to, like Martin Luther King, like, there was segregation going on, or, you know, for people to have, like, equal rights. And, like, he dedicated his life to do that. And I find that amazing. Like, people that, you know, want to make a change, like, they go for it and they do it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something with what's going on, with the way the world is changing right now. Someone needs to speak out, because it's not normal. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's kind of scary, like how they're talking about the vaccines and the mandated vaccines, and that's not normal. Like, you should have a choice.
How do you mandate a vaccine, though? Meaning,
if
how
you want
how
to
do
fly.
you do?
But the same thing with the mask. Like, you would never think, okay, I would have to be forced to wear a mask, or they would take away my... But it's going on right now. Like, people don't realize. They're like, oh, no, it can't happen. But it's happening. People's free speech is being taken away. They don't even let the president of the United States speak without censoring him. So if they're censoring the president of the United States, you should be scared, whether you like him or not. That's scary. That's scary that that's a thing. You know, and if people don't say something, if people don't speak up, and they're just like, you know, just go with the times, like, oh, it'll be okay. That's how bad things happen. Like, there has to be put the power back in the people's hands. But people just think, oh, it's whatever, there's nothing I can do. But that's not true. Change can start with one person.
So what do you think that has to be?
I have to do something. I have to keep speaking out. And I think it comes from, like, doing your research, not believing the media, doing your legitimate research, and speaking up, doing something. I don't know, get into council.
You know what's difficult, though? What's difficult is knowing what the hell the truth is at this point. It's like
I'm too red pilled at this point. Like, to the point where it's like, I see, like, it's like, you know, like those rabbis, I'm not comparing myself to a rabbi at all, but, like, you know how they say, like, those Kabbalistic rabbis that know so much, like, they can look at you and, like, read you. Mm-hmm. Like, when you know, and then they could go crazy, like, when you really do know so much, it kind of can drive you crazy a little bit, because you're like, wow, I'm really living in the world of lies. Like, everything that I was told is a lie. Like, your world, which, that's why a lot of people they would rather just, like, comply, or rather, like, not do their research, or just be like, you know, it's easier to think, like, wow, the government really cares for us, like, there's no way they could have let COVID come out, because or else you're gonna be like, what the fuck, you know, like, it would fuck you up. But in the Torah, it does say we live in the world of lies. So.
Yeah, I mean, I really agree with what you're saying, and for me, I can say I'm kind of passive about it because
Yeah.
I'm just so focused on myself.
Yeah.
But I do believe strongly that if things got very out of hand, I would try to be proactive. Where if the government started to really try to take, and it's not to say that they aren't already, but if you
really felt it, like, yeah,
if
I know
you really
would.
started to feel
I know you
restriction,
would. I feel you would.
like they were shutting down the internet for like half the week,
Yeah.
and they were saying you can only leave your house from 3 to 5, and you have to, and they literally make sure you have a vaccine, or they hold you down. The cops come to your house and like force it down your throat.
But
stuff like that happens, and it does happen in countries.
Yeah.
Once that kind of stuff happens, once you really, there's a strong police presence and military's coming in and yada yada. And it was in Cali, but that's different. There were riots. That I agree with. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Bring in the National Guard. If you want to be a fucking idiot and loot stores and do all that, by all means. That's my thought process. But if people are peaceful and they're bringing in strong military or police presence, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
If they start to try to ban guns, if Biden gets elected, and if none of that at all ends up where
elect, yeah.
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
if he ends up becoming president, and he pushes for
that's a red flag.
A ban on guns and all that stuff,
flag.
we're fucked because, people are not gonna go down without a fight though.
Yeah.
Strong conservatives.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not willing to go to prison for it, but ultimately, there are people who are. There are millions of Americans. Who are not going to give up their guns. Yeah. They are not doing it. Like I don't want to do it.
It was put into effect because of the government was corrupt and they fought back. That's literally, we fought against the British because they were taxing us high and there was whatever, and that's why we have the Second Amendment. People forget this, why it's so important, because if the government does decide to be, do whatever they want, you could fight back. But now if you don't have that gun, what are you going to do?
Ultimately, the large majority of military veterans are conservative.
Yeah.
So if there was a civil war, I don't care whether you're conservative or Democrat. Democrats have no chance in an actual physical. I hope it obviously doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If it were to happen, we all know conservatives would annihilate liberals.
Yeah.
There's no debate. So, as far as that becoming a thing, as far as a Democratic elect trying to enforce, military and all that, I don't think it would happen so easily.
The thing is, though, they already been talking about it. Like, I don't know if you watch, like,
they've been talking.
They've been talking, but yeah, like the World Health, the Economic Forum, like the UN, the United Nations, they get together yearly and they talk about in 2030 they want to like build back better. Like that's their motto. And it's like the New World Order, the Great Reset, they call it. And what does that mean? That means that they're going to vaccinate. They're going to, have the 5G towers, basically, so where you're going to be surveillanced everywhere. And we're already surveillance. We don't even know it. But these phones and the TV and the computers, it's surveillance. So it's like not far-fetched. Like all of these things, people are like, but it's like in the works right now. And COVID, they're milking it in order to do it and follow through with their Great Reset. Because when you put people in a fear state and you lower their vibration, they're going to be like, okay, whatever you give me, government, it's fine. They would never be able to make a lockdown happen if it wasn't for COVID. And now if we're going in a second lockdown again, that's complete fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. It's bullshit. They're already talking about another lockdown in December. That's going to destroy people's livelihoods. Like,
New York, to be perfectly honest, I don't think Floridians are going to
do that.
No, I don't think the Florida government is going to allow that to happen.
Really?
I think
That's
they're
good.
done. Yeah, if they have to, if the president, whatever it is, they're not going to do it like New York.
But the president doesn't want another lockdown. He doesn't want it.
It's already free. It's already, you can go out in Miami the clubs are open, the bars are open.
Really?
Yeah, they're open. So
Yo, I don't even know what that's like right now.
I know nobody does in New York.
It's
So yeah,
so
they're
great.
open. You're good. Like you can go out and have a grand time. Things are open
Like,
now.
you
You're
don't
good.
feel it over there.
I mean, you see people with masks in stores, but that proves the bullshit. You can go right now on a Saturday night to a club.
That's what I'm saying.
And some people are wearing masks, some people aren't. There's no enforcement of it. The funny thing is, when you're in front of the place, when you're in front of it,
You have to
You
wear
don't
it.
have to. No, they don't make you wear it, but like, there's this sense of like, ooh, masks. But
Yeah.
as soon as everyone goes in and
Take
they're
it off.
literally touching each other, oh, we don't need it anymore.
That's how
Once
you
we're in
know.
the club, it doesn't affect us anymore. Or like what you said the other day
Yeah.
with restaurants. In the front of the restaurant, you got to wear your mask,
Yes.
but when you're sitting down, the pandemic doesn't get you anymore.
Yeah, literally. Like,
So
I
fucking
look at the
stupid.
mask as like the last bit of free speech, or like it's almost like a form of like control. Like, I say jump, no, they tell you to jump and I say how high. You know, like it's almost like you just do what the government tells you to. Like a mask. Like, think about it. With a mask on, you can't like see people's facial expressions, and it's not like an interactive, and you're like scared to come near people. You're like, oh my god, they may have the plague. Like, it's sick. Like, it's sick to live in a world like that.
It's so funny though. From the start of this whole thing, I don't want to say I didn't take it seriously because I was respectful
100%.
and I didn't know how dangerous it was, and I didn't want to be ignorant. So I did wear a mask, and I was very careful around older people.
Yeah.
Because it definitely is something.
It is
It's not
something,
nothing.
yes, but
But then for myself, I was like, I'm not doing this thing. I'm not gonna start bugging out and losing my mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna do it from the get go. There was never a point where I was like, I had a friend that was stocking up on guns, and he got a whole thing, and yada yada. And I was like, Ashley, it's been a pleasure. Great episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
me too, I did.
Okay. The biggest lesson I got from this is if you have to go, go.
Yeah.
You gotta pay.
That's the biggest lesson you
For
got.
not COVID and spirituality and religion and all that. If you gotta go, you gotta go. So
Yep.
with that being said, thank you so much for coming and doing an episode. This has been another episode of Soothing Semantics. Tune in every Monday. And make sure to check out, Ashley, would you want people to look at your Instagram and see what
Yeah,
you're
for
posting
sure.
it?
Yeah.
So what is your Instagram? I know I have you on it, but I forget.
My
It's
Instagram's
Berardi,
Ashley
right?
Brooke with 2 E's, XO.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you
Okay.
could tag it or something.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'll do it on YouTube and
Yeah.
the audio platforms. Okay. So, guys, stay tuned for the next episode. It has been real. Until next time.
See you.